Are we ready? I think we're ready.
Yes.
Good morning. It's been so long since we did this. Good morning, everyone. We see we've got a few people already on live, and so welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we go any further, may I just say that I wish all of you a wonderful new year. I know it's the middle of January and everybody's forgotten about the new year, but we haven't been back since the new year. And, New Year is a time for making resolutions. It's a time for having good intentions. You know what they say about good intentions, don't you? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Anyway, this morning we have lots and lots and lots of good intentions. And we know that those good intentions are the road to wherever heaven might be. That's my feeling anyway. This morning we have with us, as always, my spirit guide Grey Eagle, who says good morning to everyone. And further on we have Carolyn, who is sick. I'm trying to stay away from her. We have to apologize. Say good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, Carolyn.
There you are. So she's like here again. So we have to apologize for missing our last couple of weeks. And it was not my fault. I know some of you have been thinking and worrying for me that I might again have contracted that nasty, what was it before, pneumonia. But this year, keep my fingers crossed, this year I didn't get it and still don't have it, although it's freezing in Florida. Freezing, freezing, freezing. What's the temperature here?
Oh, it was 32.
32.
Feels like 22. The wind.
In Florida, the good news is that it only lasts a couple of days or, well, maybe a week. It's been a week now since it's been cold, not quite that cold. But there was a freeze warning last night. It is warming up, I think, a little bit today, but the skies are blue and my heating is on, and so we're perfectly comfortable here. All right, so where are we? So yes, New Year is a time for good intentions, and we are wanting to hear some of your good intentions for the new year. My only good intention this year is to continue doing what I've been doing for most of my life, which is to just be myself. And, if I fall by the wayside on some things, if I don't do things right always, if I don't say the right thing sometimes, I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I'm going to just keep trying to be the best that I can be and to be the person that I can be. Poor Carolyn has had some struggles. Carolyn, do you want to mention anything about those struggles at all? It's your choice. This is why she's not been here, you see. She's neglected me completely.
I have apparently, my husband and I have joined the millions of other grandparents that have temporary
do you want
custody.
to be on camera?
No.
She's sick.
You
don't look that bad.
The cat dragged in,
she doesn't really, but anyway, go on. Yes.
Anyway, we have joined the millions of other grandparents who are helping out with their grandchildren in a way that wasn't anticipated.
And how's it been? Well, I haven't seen her, so I've no idea. Before I go any further, if you sent us an email, if you are hoping for an immediate reply, I'm sorry, but life happens, and she's not been here, and so and I've not been here. I've been away too. So please, if you've sent us an email, or if you
only in the last week, it was last
week. All right. So please don't fret that we've disappeared on you altogether, and please don't be too harsh on us, because we're trying our very best to do what we can. But Carolyn has not been here because she has had all of these issues and
two
grandchildren. And how old are they, Carolyn?
5-year-old in kindergarten and a 7-month-old.
That's tough.
Yes. And everybody goes, well, you have a 13-year-old daughter. That should be a great help.
No, I'm sure not. No. Well, she's 13. Come on, she's a teenager. What do you want? Carolyn did walk in this morning just a few minutes ago just to do this, and then she's going to go home once we finish this YouTube, because she's sick. What can I tell you? But when you've got 7-month-old babies, you're going to get believe you me, going to get sick. And she sort of walked in with her eyes half closed, muttering something about not having any sleep or enough sleep or something, and muttering also about, I don't know how these women do it who've got hot skin. Anyway, so there we are. So we're hoping that you're going to be really nice to us, really patient with us. I'm trying to be patient with Carolyn. It's difficult because, you know, I don't want to let any of you down, but at the same time, things are what they are. So we have to deal with the issues as they come along for us, and we hope for your patience. All right, we are going to, I don't know if anybody's got, it's like my haircut. It's like my daughter hates it. You can see your scalp through it, Mother, she says. But I actually like it. I think it's nice. Carolyn, you like it,
I
right?
do like it.
It's
Yes, I do
really,
like it.
really, really, really short. I mean, it's like there's nothing.
Yeah, but you can pull it off. You look chic or cheek, whatever.
Chic.
Yeah, okay.
Chic.
That.
As long as I don't look like a chick.
No, you look like you should be in vogue.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, anyway, so all right. So comments, questions. How was your Christmas? What did you do? What was your New Year? And what is your New Year's resolution?
Well, we can say hello to Dean.
Good morning, Dean.
And Angie.
And good morning, Angie.
Dean says, ha ha ha, freezing in Florida. You should be in Wisconsin.
I know. I just came back from New York. Come on. It was the coldest there in 40 something years. It was 0 degrees, but with the wind, it was, I don't know, felt like 26 below or something. To me, it felt like 50 below. I'm going to tell you. It was cold, 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 and I'm used to the warm weather. I'm sorry, Dean. You choose to live there. So what can I say?
Well, that's okay. He says he's now babysitting his granddaughter every day.
Oh,
so
there you are. How old is your granddaughter, Dean? Let us know how old she is.
And he also lost his best friend from growing up in Milwaukee yesterday. Dean did.
You mean
his best friend when he was growing up?
He didn't lose him because of war.
No, he passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about that, or a little bit more about him? As I said earlier, when I first began, I know that many of you did not have a good Christmas and many of you did not have a good New Year. I don't know if I said that here on YouTube or if I said that on our Healing Minute, but it is true. Just because it's Christmas doesn't mean that everybody's laughing and happy and having a wonderful Santa Claus time. A lot of people have to suffer loneliness and heartache and heartbreak through the Christmas and the New Year seasons. And, you know, it's very hard when you see everybody, you think everyone else is having a good time. You think, you know, you see the Christmas trees, you see the presents under the tree, you see people shopping and all the rest of it. You think that everybody else is having an absolutely fantastic time. But that isn't true, because I remember many, many Christmases when I put on a face for my daughter, dying inside, heartbroken inside for one reason or another. And I know that for many people, for many, many thousands and thousands of people, Christmas and New Year are heartbreaking times of memories, good and bad. Please remember through that, and Dean, especially to you at this moment in time, please remember you're not alone. Please remember, I'm sure that your friend is safe and well and with his angels. And guess what, Dean? Gregor is putting his hand on my shoulder. He's squeezing my shoulder to confirm that, yes, he is okay. He's fine. I don't know if this was an unexpected issue or situation, but a message to you from Gregor: keep your chin up and don't worry, he's fine. He's fine. All right, so let's have another.
All right. Kenya.
Good morning, Kenya.
She asks, hi, Rosemary, why do I keep seeing the number 4, 14, or 44?
Oh, well, I'm a great believer in numerology. I think numbers mean a lot to all of us, and I'm not sure why, because I'm not an expert in that field, but my number is 7. And if I remember years and years ago when I was a kid and I get on the bus, I'm talking about when I was 14 and 15 and 16 and 18 and 20. That's when I was, riding the buses. And if I got a bus ticket with a 7 in it, the bus tickets had lots and lots of numbers across the top. If there was a 7 in it, it was great. If there was a 7 at the end, wow. If there were 2 sevens at the end, double wow. If there were 3 sevens at the end, that was a triple wow. No idea why. My daughter was born on the 7th. Do you think I might know something? Do you think I might, somewhere in my subconscious, that number might have been special to me and I knew it, my soul knew it, and just was reminding me from time to time? Maybe the number 4 is special to you for a particular reason. Maybe you won't see that reason yet, but it will come clear to you, as it did with me, with my daughter, the number 7. And it's been my number, and it's been my daughter's number, and so I don't know what number my darling boy will have as he gets older, but I do think that numbers mean something. They are important to us, but I can't explain why.
I've got an interesting number story.
Oh, go ahead, Carolyn. Sure you don't want to be on camera?
No, I'm
okay.
Really sure. I didn't put makeup on. And I only wear eye stuff. But no.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I believe I was in the 6th grade, and we had to write little poem books, which my mother kept for, she still has this little
Very
poem
nice.
book, yes. In this poem book, I wrote a poem about me when I got into high school, and that I was going to date a boy who played football, and he wore the jersey number 55. And I drew a picture of this boy with the number 55.
And how old were you when
I was in 6th grade.
What does that mean? I've no
11.
Idea. Okay.
11. I mean, certainly I didn't have a boyfriend.
So you were 11. You didn't have a boyfriend, but you made up a story about a boy with the number 55
on his
football jersey. We know what's coming, don't we? We know what's coming. Go ahead.
My first husband played football, and he wore the number 55.
Oh.
My second husband played football and wore the number 55. That's odd.
I was waiting for the third.
Oh no, there's no 3,
but
no, only 2 husbands. Thank God.
That's fantastic. You see, somewhere in your soul, this is what I believe. I believe that our soul knows everything, which is why it's very important for us to learn to listen to the heartbeat of our soul and to connect with our soul in a way where our soul can speak to us. And it's the same with me and the number 7. I mean, my family didn't have lucky numbers. Nobody talked about lucky numbers, but the number 7 just sort of was there for me. And somewhere in my soul, that number resonated with me and was important to me. The same, Carolyn, as you. Somewhere in your soul was trying to say something to you, that this would be important to you. And sure enough, it was. And I think that's a great story. However, again, I must say I am not a numerologist. I don't know about numbers, but I do know about the soul, and I do know that our soul speaks to us on many, many occasions about many different things. And if we learn to listen, we can be prepared for many things. We can know many things. We can understand many things about our soul, because our soul can tell us so much about who we are and what we are, and in fact, even why we are. Okay, let's go to our next question, shall we?
Yes, we've got Nikki. It's a comment.
Good morning, Nikki.
I lost my best friend 3 years ago this year. She had MS. I still know she's with me and looking after me. She does have a question. Can you ask Rosemary for some advice on fearing the unknown?
Ooh. Well, first of all, I think all of us on some level or another are fearful of the unknown. And even though most of us who feel comfortable with death and dying, and most of us who feel comfortable with knowing that life continues on after, at that moment, at that point, and I've been at that point with many, many, many people over the years, I've had that privilege of holding people's hands when they have passed into the spirit world. And even though they are comfortable, so many of them are comfortable with the fact of a life after death, with the fact that there is an existence after death, the unknown is still, it's unknowable. So, it's a bit scary. It's a little bit like, going into a math test, and we might be brilliant at math, and we might know in our heart that we're going to, be okay, but still, it's bit, sort of a bit nerve-wracking, isn't it, when we have to take this test? And I guess dying is a bit like sort of going into the exam room and hoping we pass and hoping we make it through. I think, I can't say that I won't be afraid when I die, but my fears are going to be much more about the fear of wondering what my daughter's going to do and how she's going to be and how she's going to cope without me. My fear is going to be that my grandson will miss out on all my good cooking. I'm just kidding, really. My fear will be that my grandson won't know me as well as I would love him to know me. My fears are for those I'm leaving behind, much more so than the fears of perhaps dying. I might change my mind at the point of actually having it happen, but so far those are my fears. How do I deal with them, Nikki? I don't know quite what to say to you, except that we have to work, all of us, I think, on that little word trust. And it's hard. It's hard to do. It's tough. I don't have a magic wand to wave. I don't have pearls of wisdom that I can take your fears away. I just don't have it. And a little fear actually is not a bad thing always. It can be a good thing because it keeps us on our toes and reminds us of the things that we need to do to ensure that our fears, our greatest fears, for instance, my greatest fear is that my daughter and my grandson will be, so devastated without me, because we do have a very special relationship, that they won't be able to move on and move forward. So knowing that and having that fear, it's my job to make sure that we're already talking to Reese about, and he's 4 years old. He'll be 5 in a couple of weeks on not Valentine's Day, on the 12th of February, his birthday is. But we're already talking to him about, the fact Samantha, my daughter, tells him Mosey talks to, ghosts. He had an issue with, Halloween. We had an issue with Halloween and all the talk of ghosts and so on and so forth. And his mama reassured him that, and I've talked to him about that they're not really ghosts, they're people. He's a bit young yet, but we're talking about it. So we're able, because of our fears, because I'm fearful that my grandson will be fearful, we can take steps. So a little bit of fear is a good thing, because it can help us to prepare and to avoid some of the fears that we have, the greater fears that we have. But trust, I think, is the biggest thing. And I remember when my daughter was in hospital and she had a surgery that was quite a simple surgery, and she bled out, and then it was all systems go, and she was very, very, very close to death's door, very close, much closer than I would like. And I remember going to the hospital, and her head was wrapped, and she'd got pipes and tubes and in her mouth and in her nose and all the rest of it. And she looked like this awful, almost like the mummy when we walked in there. And she was lying in bed, and she was so still. And it's an odd thing, because most people, when they are in that situation, and for some people it does not end well. For me, I was lucky. Samantha was fine, but for many people, those situations do not end well. But in that moment, it was almost as if the fear disappeared. It was a very strange moment. The fear disappeared, and I just sat and held her hand and trusted that, and I didn't even think about it until later, looking back and thinking, well, why wasn't I afraid? And it was because I trusted. I know my God. I know my Christ. I know myself. I know my beliefs. And somehow, darling, if you can, Nikki, if you can sort of, learn to know yourself and learn to know your God and your beliefs and learn to trust in them, that won't take the fear away, but it will certainly help you to deal with it. And it will certainly help you to, feel better about the future and what is going to happen in the future. I hope that helps.
She says, thank you. Or he says, I'm sorry. Not quite sure.
Yeah, I was actually going to say,
Yeah.
Nikki, are you a boy or a girl?
I don't know. We've got a couple of new first-timers here, as they call themselves.
Good morning, good morning.
Baby B and Robbie.
Baby B. Baby B.
And
Okay.
we've got
Robbie.
Robbie.
Good morning to you both.
Mr. LA Techno from Holland.
Oh, I could do with your help, Mr. LA Techno. If you are our techno, good morning to you.
And Baby has a question. I received a message from Spirit and gave me one.
I'm sorry, you could probably see my puppy turning around and around and around. So Kachura's here with us as well. So go ahead.
I received a message from Spirit and they gave me 1, 2, 3. This could mean a million things. I've been doing research, but just cannot find anything that resonates. Can you help me?
Well, for me, it's about the third time rule. You should always use the third time rule. If you hear something, see something, sense something, whatever it is about, you work in the spirit world, whatever it is to do connected with the spirit world, whether you work with them or not, whatever it is, if you see something, hear something, sense something, or become aware of something, don't just grab it and say, oh yeah, that's what I saw or that's what I heard. You have to be very circumspect. And so I always apply the 3 time rule. The first time you hear or sense whatever, you make a note of it, but not necessarily do anything about it, because the spirit world also has this 1, 2, 3 time rule. If you see it a second time, pay attention, but a little bit more attention. And if you see this same thing or sense or whatever this same thing, the third time, then you can go ahead and accept whatever it is that you're seeing or sensing and being aware of. I have found the 3 time rule to be invaluable to me because honestly, we do not know really whether something that's going on or that we see or that we sense is in our imagination or whether it is a reality. And with my students, I've always been insistent that they use that 3 time rule, and I've always been insistent that we should all be much more skeptical, because don't be, just because you believe in the spirit world, just because you believe that there are people around you, doesn't mean that every time you see something, sense something, or aware of something, that it is actually from them. It's very often from our own selves, from our own feelings, from our own fears, from our own imagination. And so I always say to people, apply the 3 time rule. It doesn't, if you dismiss something, and it's meant for you, it will be given to you again. It's about that trust thing. Here we are again with the trust. If you trust the spirit world and they need to let you know something, they will give it to you once, twice, 3 times. Don't necessarily have to listen to it once. Remember, we're human. We have a vivid imagination. Just remember that. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't be afraid that your imagination is running away with you. Just apply the 3 time rule. If you hear the same thing twice, okay, well, maybe I should be taking a bit more notice. And if it comes back to you third time, then accept it and move on. And, take it as something that is given to you. So that would be my. And I'm asking Gregor because I know that you perhaps feel that you need to know the answer to this. So I'm asking Gregor, is this for you? Is what I'm saying actually for you? And he's nodding vigorously. Vigorously. Who asked this question? Is it Beeb?
Yes.
Okay.
Baby.
Oh, Baby, because I actually think that perhaps sometimes you're too eager and you're too accepting of things where you should be a little bit more skeptical. Don't be afraid to be skeptical. I'm the most skeptical person on this planet. I can assure you. I question, and I question again, which is why I'm good at what I do, because I'm not absorbing all the nonsense that is either coming from outside of me or coming from in my own head. Remember, sometimes we're so desperate to want to do this work that our imagination can conjure up things that are not anything to do with reality. So don't be afraid, because if it's meant to be and if it's meant to be given to you, apply that 3 time rule. Hope that helps. Okay.
Brother Nate.
Good morning, Nate. How are you?
He says, I read soul signs.
Uh-oh.
And I definitely believe that I am an earth warrior.
Oh.
You said something about maturity. My question is, can we figure out our level of spiritual maturity?
Yes.
Bad, undecided, or good?
Yes, absolutely. Use soul signs there are lots, it's so much information in there. It's very hard when you read it the first time. It's very hard to absorb it all. There's lots and lots and lots, right, Carolyn?
Oh, yes.
And I think you've got, how many times have we been through it and gone through it again and again and again and again and again,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And every time you go through it, Nate, you learn something more, something different, and you learn something more about your own soul sign, and you learn about how you deal with other soul signs too. And learning how to deal with other soul signs really will help your maturity. Carolyn, I wish I could. She won't let me put her on camera, but she's doing this. Do you want to say anything?
Just yes. I have just.
Well, you're talking about Carolyn's favorite book in all the world ever, but so.
I can't tell you how many times in the past 3 weeks that I have said, reminded myself that a certain somebody in my life is behaving the way that they are because they're an air sign.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yes.
I won't say a word, but sometimes you cannot, it's so easy to become frustrated with other people's behavior. And it's so easy to be judgmental, harshly, right?
Yes.
Judgmental of other people's behavior. That doesn't, you can't say he or she is an air sign and therefore that excuses them, because it doesn't excuse them, but it doesn't explain them.
Yes.
And so, when you start to work with soul signs in the way that it's meant to be, Nate, not only is it meant to be for you to understand you, it's also meant to help you to understand all of those people who are around you and who are in your life. And if you can help, knowing other people's soul signs helps you to understand them. Again, I'm going to say this because we have to be really clear. I've heard people say to me, oh, well, I did so and so, but hey, I can't help it because I'm an earth sign, or hey, I'm an air sign. So it does not excuse that. It does not excuse your behavior. Because learning, growing, and maturing, and maturity not only as a human being, but in a spiritual sense as well. Maturity means owning what you do and hoping and helping and striving to do more, to do better, to perhaps even to do differently. Yes, of course, it's almost impossible for an air sign to take on responsibility, but it doesn't mean they can't do it, and they can if they mature. They won't do it necessarily in the same way that an earth sign does it, but nevertheless, they can take on those responsibilities and should take on those responsibilities. You can't just shrug your shoulders and say, oh, well, that's me then. Well, actually, then you should go into a cave and live by yourself and not have anything to do with the rest of the human race, because that negligent attitude affects so many other people in your life. So if you don't want or can't be bothered or feel it completely unnecessary to take responsibilities for your actions, go live in a cave somewhere and leave the rest of us alone so we can get on with having a good life. Does that sound really harsh? I hope not. I want Brother Nate's opinion on what I just said.
We've got while we wait for Nate to respond, we've got Sharon.
Good morning, Sharon.
Sharon says, my husband died 7 weeks ago. Can you tell me if he was aware he was dying? Did he know I was by his side in the hospital?
I normally don't do this, Sharon, but I'm going to do this because Gregor is squeezing my shoulder so hard. I better pay attention. First of all, let me just say I'm so sorry for your loss. And, it's tough. And again, especially around this time of year, it's hard. It's so hard. Your question was, I'm asking Gregor, your question was he aware of you and was he aware that he was dying? I can say for the second, was he aware that he was sick and that he was dying? The answer is absolutely yes. I'm asking Gregor, how can we be so certain about that, Sharon? And he tells me, which is, I hope this is going to help you in the future, his angels were gathering. Even before, he must have collapsed or somehow went down or something, but even before that moment, he was aware of his angels around him. And he was very well and safely held in those moments. The first question, well, the first
Can
question.
you tell me if he was aware?
Yeah, I'm listening to. Sorry, shut up. I'm listening to
I'm
Grey
so
Eagle.
sorry.
Sorry, you didn't know. I'm listening to Grey Eagle. Oh, I haven't told anyone to shut up for ages. It feels so good.
Back, right?
Feels so good to be back to normal. I'm sorry we're laughing, but humor is something that helps us, and it helps us to deal with our grief. So, don't think we're not taking this seriously, Sharon, because of course we are. But I'm listening to Grey Eagle here, and I think your question was your husband aware? I think you were holding his hand. It's an overwhelming and absolute yes. Yes. There are apparently, I don't know why I'm giving you this little message, but obviously you need it. There were apparently many unresolved issues between you, things that were going on, and you're left, as many people are, with if only, and if only I'd said this or that, or if only I'd have done, or if only this, and so on and so forth and such like. Please understand that those issues that you feel need to be resolved are resolved. Your husband loves you so very much, and I'm glimpsing him, I'm pretty sure it's him, out of the corner of my eye here, and he's blowing you kisses, and it must be somebody's birthday. It's either just gone or just coming, but there's a birthday, and because he's saying it's either a birthday or an anniversary or something, and he's blowing you many, many kisses. So please, darling, don't, as I said to someone earlier, you're not on your own. Your husband is safe and well, and he's asking you, this is interesting turnaround, because I think you asked, was he aware of you? And he's asking, are you aware of him? Because he hasn't left your side. He has not left your side. So I hope that's helpful to you.
She has typed in and she said he collapsed in the house first.
Yeah.
And
It was as if he just, when Greg was describing it to me, I saw him just literally just going down. But even as he was going down, I think there were his angels. I know there were. I don't think it. I know there were his angels holding him and holding him safe.
Wonderful. Okay, we've got Mr. LA Techno. Is there a message from the spirit world?
Can I call you LA? Because I can't do the techno thing and the Mister and all that. Can I just be? Can we be more familiar? Can I just call you LA?
There you go. Is there a message from the spirit world for me? And they're also saying that they use the 3 times rule for themselves.
Brilliant. I think that's brilliant. No, there is not at this time today a message for you. Who knows in the future? I try not to, I don't plan this. Messages come from Grey Eagle. When I feel him, I was going to say interfering, but actually I didn't mean interfering. When I feel him sort of with his hand on my shoulder and he puts pressure on me, I know that I need to pay attention to him, and I never know when it's going to happen. So it could be next week or the week after, or even next month or next year. But right now, no. But thank you for asking. I'm pleased you apply that 3-time rule. Keep it up. All right.
They said to tell you, yes, sure. Libby for you. You can call.
Oh, thank you, Libby. I love the name Libby. There was a very, very fabulous. Can't remember if she was an actress or a singer. Now you've got mine, and her name was Libby. I love that name. So thank you, Libby.
And Sharon says, yes, I am aware of them. Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
This is still so new and raw.
Oh, if we can help, email us.
Definitely.
Rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com. Okay.
Let's see.
Sharon, that there are so many people out there who are thinking, how come she got a message and we didn't? But you obviously need it very, very much right now.
Yeah, right. There's a lot.
And he sent lots of love and kisses. I don't know if I said that to you, but he's interfering with this morning, actually. I can see him over there. Right, keep going. Any other?
I don't know if you can answer this
questions or comments or anything.
Angie says, can you or Grey Eagle confirm that me and my lifelong friend Michelle have been friends or relatives in previous lives.
Oh,
How do you feel about that?
Who is this from? Is it
Angie.
Angie. Good morning, Angie. I hate the previous life questions. You should know that by now. You know me well enough. All right. In soul science, we're back to the soul science book again. I feel sometimes if I pound that book to death, I don't mean to. And if you want to know more about it, email us, because we can get you a copy easily. I'll tell you where to get one from. All right. But in there, in soul signs, there is a chapter specifically about soulmates, workmates, and what's the other one? Soulmates, workmates, and playmates. I'm going to suspect that your friend, you obviously have this fabulous connection with her. So I suspect that you have this connection, which is called playmates. But go look at soul signs, because it will tell you much, much more about it. It will tell you much more about how our souls sometimes will connect with people, but we connect in a special way, but for different reasons. You know, you might think everyone has a soulmate, but some of us have more than one. We have soulmates. Why our soul connects with that soul makes them a soulmate. How our soul connects with another soul makes them a workmate or a playmate. And it's discussed in the soul signs book, and it will give you a little bit more information than we have time for this morning. But I'm suspecting that she is. Don't think that playmates are less important than soulmates, because a soulmate, a playmate, a workmate, they're all soulmates of some kind. They're all mated with our souls connect in this very, very, very special way. So go to Soul Science and read more about it. Yes.
We've got a
Excuse me.
question from Sumi.
Sumi. Good morning, Sumi.
My son is in a very bad way. I was wondering if you can tell me if my mother is seeing this on the other side. I'm scared he is going to die.
I'm asking Greg all this, and we don't usually, as I've said before, we don't usually do this. You need to email me, Sumi, and let us know what's going on, would you? We might be able to help you. You might want to send us your son's name. We don't need full names or anything like that, just, his first name, because I think we need to put him on our healing list. I think we have a young man here who's I'm listening to Gregor as I'm talking to you now, so you need to pay attention. I always pay attention when he's talking to me. We have a young man here who is extremely confused, but also stubbornly determined to live his life in his own way, and that makes it tough. It makes it tough for any parent. We should put him on if you send his name, we should put him on our healing list. I don't think the danger of him dying is imminent in any way, shape, or form. But if you need help, maybe, I don't know where you live or I don't know where you're from, but I'm going to suggest if you could find a good counselor, that would be a good start right there. Email us and we can perhaps help you a little bit more. Be patient though, because we've no idea when Carolyn's coming back. Could be another year before I see her. Okay. All right. Next question.
Don't think that's good. Now I'm going to get rid of your daddy. Okay.
Touch it.
Adrian asks.
Good morning, Adrian.
Hearing your name being called out, is that a good thing?
Oh, yes. When you hear your name from the spirit world, it is the greatest accolade, the greatest of accolades. It basically means that someone out there loves you so much that they've had to basically scream it out to get your attention. So it's when you hear your name called, it is the greatest accolade. It means that you are well loved, Adrian. So wow, maybe tell us a little bit more about that and how that happened, and maybe even who you think it is. That would be fun too. But yes, it is a very, very, very great accolade. Wow, you must be very well loved.
All right. 4 Cool Clips says, hi, Rosemary.
Good morning, 4. How can I say that?
4 Cool Clips.
Do you not have a name, darling? I know you've got to put it all up there, but anyway. While I think about it, I know that we are getting lots and lots and lots of interest in our YouTube channel. So please subscribe. We have not forgotten the competition, which we did say, I think first for Christmas, and then we're going to try for Valentine's Day. According to Carolyn this morning, because I mentioned it this morning, we are going to strive to do that. But you cannot enter our competition if you are not subscribed. So subscribe. Now 4 Cool Clips. Did I say that properly?
Yes.
All right, let's hear this question.
Some people are picking up a huge transformational earth change on the horizon. Maybe a pole shift or interference from another sun or planet. Do you see something like this coming?
I actually think it's already here. I think it's been here for a while. I think there's a huge shift, and I think it's been going on for the last 10 years, if not longer. I'm checking with Gregor here, and he's agreeing with me. I think that, I don't think it's, the earth is going to shatter into a million pieces. I think these things happen very, very gradually. But those of us who are aware of those planetary actions or energies, as I am, because I'm not a whatever that is.
Planetarium? No,
well,
that's the
planetarian thing.
Yeah.
I don't know about planets and stars and all that, except for the things that we learn. And I looked out at the sky last night at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was outside looking at the sky, and the stars were so incredibly brilliant. But I'm not knowledge. I'm not an astronomer or an astrologist, but I do know energy, and I do know when I feel energy shifts and changes, which is what I think you're talking about. And this has been going on now for quite some time. It has been, in some regards, in some areas, a gentle shift, and in others, a much more positive and powerful. And I say positive, I don't mean necessarily a good thing, but you've only got to have a look at the tsunami. We've only got to look at all the things that are going on in the world that are happening, unbelievable things that are happening, volcanoes and tsunamis and so on and so forth. And you can see straight away that there are shifts. The unfortunate thing here is that for those who are not aware of these energy shifts, we as a human race, the animal planet that we are, those energy shifts affect us as well, and do seem in many areas to be creating negativity rather than positivity. If you're not aware of those shifts, or you're not able, if you're aware of them, you can do something about it. You can stay more positive. You can work to be more positive. But there are so many more people now seeming to be suffering from all kinds of situations, all kinds of maladies, which have a lot to do with the way people are thinking and the way people are behaving. So I think for those of us, as you are aware of what's going on, and those of us who are aware of what's going on, it's up to us to sort of, show this powerful and positive front, and to help people and to teach people how to hold on to their positive attitude, as opposed to falling into that negativity which so many people seem to be doing today.
We've got Deborah.
Good morning, Deborah.
With the Sun Company, and that you had a
good morning, Deborah.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
And her mom's staying with her.
Oh, how's she doing? Because
Well, she
I know
says
there were issues.
She says the other night, Mom and I were walking down the hallway to her room and smelled a foul smell for about a minute, and then it disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was a weird smell that we haven't smelled before. Also, a swish in the shape of a heart appeared on a mirror, not with a finger, but a wide hand swish, definitely in the shape of a heart.
Wow. I'm not sure about the smell, but the heart sounds good to me. I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. I hope you have a lovely Christmas and New Year, and I do wish you well for the future. Keep in touch, keep in touch, keep in touch.
Mom's been having a very, very difficult
Yes, I
time.
know,
Yeah,
I know, I know. I remember that.
passing of death.
I hope she's doing better.
Yeah, let's see. We've also got unusual question here. Hi, Rosemary. This is Robbie.
Good morning, Robbie.
I have a little boy. He is like my son. He is 9.5 years old now.
He's like her son, or is her
He's
son?
like my son. He came a part of my life because of my ex who passed in 1999. He is actually the grandson of my ex. Is my ex aware?
Ask her if this is the little boy who's had a haircut recently,
Okay, Robbie.
or about to go for a haircut. And if that's the case, I'll answer you.
All right, waiting to hear from Robbie. Dean says, let's see, he was talking about your books. He has a good suggestion for a show. Now I can't find it. Basically, he said, I have a good suggestion for a show. How about you do some synopsis of your books, just like a little brief description on what's in each one of your books for those that don't know.
Sure, we could do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that next week.
Okay, that's a
Maybe
good
we
idea.
could have a little bit of a read from a passage or two of one or two of the books.
Yeah, here we go. Suggestion for a future show. Talk about all of Rosemary's books with a brief synopsis of each. I have reread them all many times. So good. And then he says, also I've bought them over and over since they keep walking off mysteriously.
Yeah, I know that. Everyone borrows them. Just don't, if you've got any signed copies, don't let them borrow those.
Julie says.
That's a good idea, actually, Dean. Thank you.
Yes, it is. Julie, she says, oh my, I missed this. Any local meetups? I'm in Venice, Florida.
Oh,
Well, Julie, you'll have to contact us because Rosemary,
I'm in Venice, Florida. Julie, where are you?
she's in Venice, Florida.
Get your butt over
Well, she
here.
needs to send us an email because you did invite people to come sit on your couch.
Would you like to come sit on my couch, Julie, on one Thursday morning? How about that?
Yeah.
If you're in Venice, Florida, oh my goodness, isn't it beautiful here when it's not so cold? Julie, we hope to see you and chat to you.
Okay.
Come on over and sit on our couch, sweetheart. Would you like that? Would you like that?
Waiting for her to respond. Julie says, I about fell off a chair. I just sent you an email yesterday. Well, I shall look at it.
You haven't looked at the emails yet. She hasn't looked at the emails yet, Julie.
Not for
Sorry.
a week.
Not for a week. She let me down, Julie. What can I say?
Robbie says,
Life takes over, right?
Yes.
What?
Robbie says, by the way, I'm actually a guy. And no, my little boy, Arian, has not had a haircut, but he needs one. We've been speaking lately about it.
Okay. All right. Then I can safely say, because I think you asked, does his grandfather see what's going on?
Yes.
I could have easily glibly said to you, Robbie, and I almost said, are you a man or a woman there? But anyway, because we never know. We never know who we're talking to. But I could have easily said glibly, of course he is. But talking to Grey Eagle, having Grey Eagle, again, squeezed my shoulder. I knew that this was not something I should answer glibly for you, because I think this is a very important question for you. It's not just a flippant thing that you do need to know whether you're doing the right thing with this child, and whether you're having help from the spirit world. And so I couldn't answer that question flippantly. But having asked you about the haircut, because either he's recently had one or he needs one, if you've been talking about his hair and his haircut, you don't have to go have his haircut. Let it grow as long as you like. It's just that if you've been talking about it, then that just verifies and confirms to me that the man I have standing in front of me is in fact someone who does want to give you a message about this boy, and I suspect that someone might be this little boy's grandfather. Apparently, this was all very, very unexpected. I'm not quite sure how you acquired this child, but it was all very, very, very unexpected and very sudden, and left. You need to confirm this for me if you could, because I don't usually. I keep saying I don't usually do it, and then I keep doing it anyway, don't I? There was a lot of there were a lot of issues, a lot of problems, a lot of issues surrounding this whole situation, and you know, somehow it has resolved itself, and this little boy, I do feel, is in exactly the right place, which Robbie must be with you. So I think the answer to your question is not only are those in the spirit world aware of being able to see what's going on, they'd like to be involved and are involved, and I think helping you the best way they can. Listen to your instincts, listen to your intuitivity. This boy is a very special boy. It's a very, very special boy. I don't know how you acquired him, but he's right where he should be right now. So I hope that's helpful to you.
4 cool clips, says my name is Molly.
Hello, Molly. Good morning. So much nicer 4 cool clips.
Pam,
right?
Yes, much easier.
Pam.
Good morning, Pam.
Pam needs to send us an email. She says, I want to connect with my triplet girls that I lost in premature birth.
Oh,
So
sweetie.
send us an email.
Who was that? That was Pam.
Pam.
All right, send us an email, darling. We'll send you the information if anybody wants a consultation. Unfortunately, I do have to charge, and it's not cheap, but if it's not worth it, I'll give you your money back. But, you know.
We don't do, we haven't had to do that.
No.
Really?
No. But still, I lost 3 babies before I had my daughter, so I know where you're coming from. My heart goes out to you, darling, and if you need any more help from us, email us and we'll get back to you. I'm sure they've survived, by the way.
Beverly needs just a
Good
little.
morning, Beverly.
A little note of encouragement. She's been reaching out. She's very depressed. She's been through hell the last several years and have always hated herself for some reason. Both parents are deceased, and she's feeling very lonely. So she doesn't really have a question. She just.
All right, Beverly, where she live?
I don't know.
If there's anybody else listening out there, this is a little cry for help, I think, from Beverly. And you know, there's no need for you to be lonely. The way that the internet works now, the way that people can connect and chat to each other, you know, make friends with this group. These are all nice people who are, you know, chatting and talking. So make friends with this group. So if anybody else out there feels that they want to connect with Beverly, you know, please, you know, do that. And Beverly, we're going to put your name on our healing list. I'm going to send you healing every day. So contact us, Rosemary Altea, and let us know how you're doing, darling. You're not, I know
She's in Reno, Nevada, she says.
Oh, great place, beautiful place. All right, well, maybe you should get out and about a bit more. You know, it's so hard because you can be in a room full of people. You can be at a party and be the loneliest person in the world, or feel the loneliest person in the world. You can just be, you know, I remember once I went swimming. I know this is a weird thing to tell you, but I went to the local swimming pool and it was packed. It was jam-packed with people, and I was never more alone. I never felt more alone. I just don't know why that came into my mind at that moment in time. But you need to start and, you know, look to see what it is that you can do for yourself. Join organizations. I'm sure it's Nevada. There are lots of places, lots of things to do. You know, join a group that are interested in the same things that you're interested in. I always think the theatre group is great because I'm not suggesting everybody should be on the stage, but if you can't be on the stage, if you can sew, you can help make costumes. If you can paint, you can help paint the sets, or just make the tea for everybody, or be a volunteer somewhere, and sort of lots of children's hospitals. There are lots of people online who are lonely too, who need help, and just a friendly face and friendly chat. So there are lots of things that you can do to help yourself. But I understand that depression is such a thing that it's very hard for us to help ourselves when we are depressed. We're going to send you healing. Please keep in contact with us. Let us know how you're doing, would you?
And another viewer, Bailey, has already reached out and said,
Bailey,
I'm in Vegas.
Bailey, thank you. You're an angel. Thank you, darling. And make sure that she doesn't fob you off, because that's a natural thing, or that's a natural thing to do. So I've reached out. Bailey has reached out. You better do something. Thank you, Bailey. Let's go for our next one, shall we?
All right. Libby has, which was Mr. LA Techno, got a personal question about my health.
Okay.
And Libby, I believe Libby's a man, okay? Will there in the future be any release about my pain? I've got a lot of morphine in my body and it makes me act like a zombie sometimes.
Yeah, I've had patients who have that issue.
He uses almost 500 milligrams almost every day. This plays a daily negative atmosphere, and it's not what my wife and kids deserve.
Would you email us and let us know a little bit more about it, darling? We'll certainly put you on our healing list. There are things that you can do. That there are ways that you can tackle this. It has to do with mind over matter basically. But my suggestion would be that you learn to say a mantra of some kind, or email us. There are things that you can do to help. There's always something you can do to help. Not necessarily to cure, but certainly to help. So email us, let us know a little bit more about that. Okay?
Well, it's about time to wrap it up.
Oh, no. How that went so fast?
I know. All
right. Well,
I'm putting out the email for those that need to email us.
The email, Rosemary, Rosemary, Rosemary at Rosemary Altea. If you found me here, you know how to spell my name. Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. And as soon as Carolyn is back to full strength again, getting on with things, we will answer your emails the best way that we can. We are not miracle workers, remember that, but we have a lot of compassion, a lot of understanding, and we can be very helpful in lots of different ways. So don't be afraid to email us and talk to us. Don't be afraid. I don't think anybody.
If you could just let Beverly know that just because she didn't receive a message does not mean that her parents are not with her. She's feeling because you didn't.
Beverly, I think we've already mentioned I don't always do this. But if you've reached out and contacted me, you're only asking me the answer to the question you already have the answer to. You know the answer to that. You know perfectly well that they're with you. So,
send us an email.
Something like that. Yes. Okay. All right. So,
we'll have details on Tuesday about.
We're going to have details on Tuesday about the competition, the contest. You do need to be, what is it? YouTube subscribed. You need to be subscribed to our channel in order to enter the competition. It's a lot of fun. We have lots of fun and giggles. I've always said this is a tough thing. People have tough lives. People have to go through all sorts of difficult situations. We try to laugh and bring light and love. Laughing does not mean not caring. Laughing means bringing light and joy. When the spirit world hears our laughter, they draw closer to us. They always do that. It's not just tears that bring them closer to us. Our laughter brings them closer to us as well. And so on that note, all right, if you have any questions, if you want to know anything any more about us, email us, Rosemary at Rosemary Altea. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, obviously. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us in lots of different places. So, and Meetup. Let's not forget Meetup. And Julie, I'm looking forward to hearing from you specifically. If you're in the Venice area, I'm always looking for new friends. I'm always looking for people to go to the beach with. I'm always looking for people to do lots of things with. If you like the movies, I'm always looking for people to go to the movies with. So, reach out to us, darling, and and come and sit on my sofa one Thursday morning. Wouldn't that be fun for you? So if you need us, you can find us in lots of different places. I want to say again, I hope that this year will be the best ever for all of you. It doesn't mean that the best ever is without trials. It just means that I hope that you find the strength and the positivity to deal with the trials that you will encounter. And, in the meantime, until I see you next week, please, 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 please have a very, get your fingers off the thing. She's trying to do this. I don't want it to get too close to me. I don't want to get sick. All right, please, in the meantime, have a very, very, very blessed, blessed day.